This is Christoph Yalik.
This is Just Janet.
And this is K. Colley.
And this is
the Just Nuggets Podcast.
Welcome back, beautiful people. It's another episode of the Just Nuggets Podcast. My name is K. Colley, your favorite podcast point guard.
Yeah.
I'm here with the lovely JJ's.
Just Janet. How y'all doing?
What's up? Christoph Yalik here as well.
Yes, we're here with Christoph as well. So
Yeah.
Nuggets, baby. I said Denver State of Mind. We won another one against the Knicks.
Yeah, yes, they did.
Yep. Got it done. And look, that was a wonderful looking game. When I say looking, like plays all over the place. It was wonderful.
Yeah, the passing was top notch. It was Nuggets basketball at its best.
Yeah.
You saw the one where Jokic had the right over the shoulder right to AG.
Correct.
Barely you see him for a quick second, but the ability to throw that pass is unreal.
You could see him when he was coming down, he looked where AG might have been, right? But then he still had to figure out where he was going to be, coming down. So it was just really good. You know what? I also like some of the ones, well, we're going to talk about this for sure. MPJ had some excellent, throw up off the backboard to yourself, dunk kind of thing.
Exactly.
He better be careful because then we'll ask him to be in a dunk contest.
I think there's just a level of trust that the Nuggets have been able to build over time where they just know where each other are at.
Yeah.
They know that they're going to catch the ball at the right time. It's no different than even Jamal Murray with the behind the back pass to AG late in the game.
Yeah.
It's just everybody or AG when he's underneath the rim and throws the perfect pass to the corner to KCP.
Yeah.
It's just that level of we trust and we know that all of us are hoopers.
Are in their spots.
We all know we're hoopers. That's what
they're hoopers. They're in their spots. They're just, and then I hear people, when you go to social media talking about we're peaking, and that's just crazy to me. They're better. They're just better than they are. They have been. They worked on it, and they're not peaking.
It's hard to say that an NBA champion team peaks.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
They know what to do. When they get to the playoffs, they're gonna know how to play basketball.
Sure.
I also think that peaking narrative is really stupid because think about how many great teams have won 66 games.
Oh yeah.
Like the team that comes to mind when I say that is like the Heat, the second time they're the second into their three-peat, or their back-to-back. When I think it was the 2012-2013 season, they won 28 games in a row from February to March.
Yeah.
I could say that they're peaking, but then they got in the playoffs and just
96 Bulls must have peaked at some point.
And I'll go to one of your favorite sports, baseball. When the Colorado Rockies went 21-22?
But they did peak.
They did peak.
Oh,
that is terrible.
Yeah.
No.
Honestly, terrible. That is exactly what we're talking about. We're peaking.
That's when people are like, "Oh, they're peaking." That's exhibit
A. But what we're saying, all the teams we've said before were championship teams before this, right? The Heat.
Thank you, Don.
We already had won the year before. The Bulls, who we're talking about, had already been a basketball championship team.
Well, then the Nuggets.
That's why we're saying the Nuggets are from that camp.
That camp. And then other team, the 80, what would it be?
Will Chamberlain's team with 56.
I was going to say the 87, 88 Lakers, stuff like that. It's like they just kind of like.
Y'all not talking about Warriors. You think they had a champion?
Well, the one that we're walking away from.
There's one that we're dodging.
Yeah, they're 74-9.
They also started the season 24-0.
Yeah.
Then they lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were up 3-1 and
Draymond got kicked
things
out.
went sideways. So I won't say that they.
One final one.
They
collapsed. Sports.
We
didn't go to hockey or football. Let's do football. What about one of them Tom Brady?
Speaking of, 18-1.
Come on.
But I would say since we went on a little tangent, I might as well say shout out to the Colorado Avs for going 8 straight.
Thank you.
Unrelated, but back to the Nuggets.
Yeah.
We beat the Knicks it was Thursday night, 113-100. So the Nuggets came out and played really well. The game had moments of being close, but overall the Nuggets kind of they always had their hand on the game.
They got it down to 2 when they came back. Nuggets just pretty much in my mind dominated them. Was doing their thing in the first half. Okay, they came back in that third quarter, and the Knicks did not give up or anything.
No, that's when the Nuggets took off.
We got it all the way down to in the fourth quarter. They came back down to 2. It was at 2, and then Nuggets just hit the switch, went on out, and we
JJ, what did you think about Michael Porter's performance?
Oh, Michael Porter was unbelievable. And he, you know, and I'm so happy for him, you know, with
Me
all
too.
the injuries, the surgeries, and you know, and coming back in the last couple years and it didn't do what he wanted to do in the playoffs. We loved every moment of it because we won and whatever he did helped. But he could have been, you know, in his mind, he could do more, and we're seeing more. You know, if we have this MPJ in the in the playoffs, we're gonna be great.
That's the Nuggets ace in the hole this season.
Yeah,
because
our third guy.
Because he has this chip on his shoulder. I've listened to the Curious Mike podcast a couple times with Dot, and he literally has taken that he didn't play well in the finals to heart. Like that is something that's like a motivating factor.
It must be
because he, I mean, at least publicly, he says it enough that I'm like, I gotta believe him where he stands on this one. So I think when the Nuggets get back to the finals this year, having him like hungry to ball out, that's not going to be good for anybody out the East.
No, it's not.
That really changes the dynamic when you have another person who can go get 30.
Yeah,
that's like miserable for some.
Yeah,
and I know like we talk a lot about the bench and them not being able to have, you know, just 30 points or whatever it is. I mean, the 18 points from Bruce Brown. What was it? Against Minnesota, the bench had 14 points, I believe. We'll double check that, but they had 14. Okay, what is this? 2, 8, 10, 13 points. Bruce Brown would have had 18 by himself. So bench scoring. But here's the thing now that's happening of late is that Michael Porter can give you 30.
Yeah.
So if he's giving you 30,
and
Joe can give you 30, and Jamal can give you 30,
or more.
There's our bench didn't really have bench last year, or just in that Knicks game, only scored 12 points too.
Yeah,
but and on the other side, MPJ had 31 points, Jokic had 30 points, and then Jamal had 23 points. 23.
But
so you're looking at 84 points from just 3 guys.
Yeah,
12 points.
That's what he says miserable. That's
12
miserable.
points and 13 points kind of tells you everything you need to know why Minnesota was close and why that game, even though it was in control, most of it against the Knicks was close. Because you're getting no production from the bench. You're getting stabilized.
They call them the non-joker minutes, but it's because
it's just like
you know it's cool. Maybe next year we'll finally have a bench that can hold its own without Jokic. That would be honestly the North Star.
That's what we got to do it.
Last year was like that in the playoffs.
In a long time.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, sometimes during the season it still was kind of like this. So maybe there is a silver lining.
Well, no, I just think this year it's
gonna be a dog. It's gonna be more dogfight when it comes to
it's a dogfight.
We're gonna win series and we're gonna win the championship. I think the series just might go longer than they did last year. That's it.
Yeah, there could be a lot of like
there were 4, 5, and 6 at the most. Yeah, they're gonna be.
Hopefully no 7s. No. Even though we're built for. That's the thing. I'm not worried about. Jokic, Jamal, and MPJ have been through so many game 7s too.
Yeah, they have.
They've seen a lot of game 7s, so it's not even to worry about will we show up in those.
No,
games
I don't think we're gonna show up.
Yeah.
I think why should we be here?
And if you say like, oh, they don't, that was in the bubble. I say you're a casual and you're not. You're a new Nuggets. You're a new Nuggets fan because they definitely went 19 back to back.
Yeah, they went 2 7s
and they had 1 at home. I mean, both of them were at home, but they lost at home. So they know what that feeling sucks.
Oh, that was,
you know what I mean?
To Minnesota. That's
no, Portland. This was we're talking about 2019.
Oh, 19. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we've had some losses at home in meaningful games, and a lot of them had Minnesota's name on it. Okay, they really did. And then of course we had the Warriors' name on tons. But my point is your point is I'm trying to make it with some support. We've been here, done that. We know all that. We're just a seasoned team.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of everything.
We're consistent with our ownership. We're consistent with our coaching. We're consistent with our duo, Joe and Maul, who have been together a long time. And now we're getting a rising star with talent in MPJ. We got to get this done this year.
Yeah, I mean,
we got to get it done.
The only team, as we just saw, and we've seen him 2 more times down the stretch, that I could see any issue with is Minnesota. I know you have your reservations, but Minnesota's the only team. When healthy, definitely give us issues.
But they're not.
But they're not healthy, and they still might give issues because they just have
They have a better Ant-Man. The game they won last playoff with us, Ant-Man showed up and single-handedly help them win that
their
game.
bench is better.
I'm not worried about. I'm really not
straight
worried
over.
about the Timberwolves
Yeah.
because we can throw AG on.
I'm not
and Anthony Edwards. We're probably the one of the few teams in the NBA that can throw somebody that's gonna put a little weight and on him.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said with AG, you actually can do that because if he's coming through the paint as a freight train, AG is there to protect the paint.
And I was going to make this point too, and we saw it in the Dallas game, which was the game before the Knicks game when they had 2 All-Stars, and we lost that game because Kyrie, unbelievable shot, left-handed, off the dribble, coming around the corner. Final shot before the
top 75
oh my
type
God.
play.
But my point is that when we have trouble, it's with 2 Hall of Famers soon to be in their ranks. It's KD and Booker when we had trouble they won 2 games, okay? And now with a Luka and a Kyrie back in the talent.
But no, what you're basically saying is when we have to play like a guard versus wing.
We have Ant. Okay, but
that is probably where the Nuggets. That's probably the team, the style of team that probably gives the Nuggets the most trouble. It's not the whole Timberwolves where they have 2 bigs on Jokic.
That's my point.
It's more those where
it's
they can
Clay.
They can exploit Jamal a little bit more on the defensive end.
Yes, that's
and so now KCP is switching too much. That's probably where we get the most. If you're right, that might be where we get the most trouble.
And
defensively.
it's just not the guard play. When we have spectacular guard play, it's 2 of them. That's Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
So you're saying Dallas might give the Nuggets the biggest issues?
I am not saying Dallas. I'm saying a 2 guard is more what we're talking. It's
you by what you're saying, it would be
so
Dallas.
You're saying Dallas or Phoenix give the Nuggets the biggest issue,
or old Warriors kind of teams with
the old Warriors.
I know it's not
I'm
there.
saying for this.
You're saying for this season, I don't think Dallas would give us trouble. I think Denver will have more trouble handling them. If we were in the playoff series and they made more than 2. Let me
ask it this way.
Okay.
Or point blank. What team will give the Nuggets the biggest issue in your opinion this postseason? That could be in the NBA Finals as well.
Thank you. If you add that, then it's Boston.
And to give context,
I think that because Boston is okay.
Boston is kind of built like that, but they're built at the 2 to 3. They're more like Phoenix. They're built at the 2 to 3, which I think we have answers for because you have KCP guarding the 2, and then you have AG guarding the 3.
Yeah,
we can live with that. I think the difference with the Suns, at least, is that AG's guarding a bigger player in KD, who's one of the best scorers of all time. Yes. So it's a little bit different with the Suns. But I think when we play against Boston, AG can actually put a lot of weight against Tatum. And Tatum enjoys cutting to the hoop and moving a little bit more, where KD will live out by the arc a lot more.
And so then since we're over here, we're kind of going between just Nuggets and not Nuggets, or sort of kind of. What about Milwaukee? Because they do have Giannis who plays like a gazelle going.
I think Milwaukee gives us some trouble in that sense.
Who do you think it is?
That would give us the
most trouble?
East or West?
Dot. Who do you think it is?
I'm looking at these teams.
I said Boston.
I think it's Minnesota, and I don't think it's close.
Really? Okay.
I truly think it's Minnesota because
can I be a hater and say I don't think anyone's gonna give us trouble? And
you can say that.
And I just think it's more about whether the Nuggets. I think this is what I think. When it comes down to the playoffs, I don't think there's a team in the NBA that has a better 5 than us.
No, absolutely not.
It'd be basically a team exploiting our bench for those 4 or 5 minutes that the bench would probably play.
I was not thinking about benches. I was thinking about 5s against 5s. So when I said it.
Yeah, when I'm thinking about 5, I really don't think there's a 5 that can fully kill us. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's Milwaukee in the sense that Giannis can be just a full-blown dog, and Dame can be Dame against a Jamal Murray. But I think if we play them, KCP would probably guard Dame.
He absolutely has to.
And Jamal would have to guard Drew Holiday, which he'd be fine.
He'd be fine. So then Giannis is our trouble. But we only going to have a trouble person.
Yeah, we're always going to have the trouble. Yeah. So I think that might be it.
We'll always have somebody.
I mean, no one said the Thunder. Is there any scare?
No. I'm telling you the one team in the NBA that I think could take out the Nuggets in a 7-game series is the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And they don't have Cat now. But they don't have Cat now.
I think Gobert's back. Naz Reid gives us.
Let's stop.
No one has.
Let's have a real conversation. You're saying neither one of those guys.
If the Nuggets lose, and I pray it doesn't happen. If the Nuggets lose and they're knocked out by the Timberwolves, you could come back and just listen to this. And
time out. I just want to hear what you're saying correctly.
I'm raising the flag. Like, hey, stranger danger. The Timberwolves can beat the Nuggets. That's all I'm saying.
I want to hear it. I just want to hear it clearly. Are you saying even injured, they can still beat the Nuggets.
That's what I want to hear. That's what I'm asking.
Without Cat, I'll say without Cat.
So you're saying if they have Rudy
without
Gobert
Cat, they'll
and
take us to 7. If they have Cat, they could probably beat
you're
us.
saying just Rudy Gobert and Anthony Edwards can beat us?
Oh.
Yes, I'm saying that.
Wait, let me. You know what? No,
You guys don't want
Doc,
to hear it,
I'm
but
gonna
it's
say-
true.
does he have a temperature? Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Let me say this. Joker owns Gobert.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
I don't want to be right. I don't want to.
Okay, all right, but he's just
I saw what I saw.
No, he's being
He's
nervous.
being-
If anything, it's not
I
even
saw
a real
what I-
argument.
I saw what I saw.
If you say Cat
And they
AG,
are.
if you say their whole full staff healthy, but you're not saying that. You're saying the way they're constructed.
I said healthy, they'll beat us.
He said healthy.
Without him, they'll take us to 6.
Bro, the Nuggets literally played the Timberwolves the other night, had a terrible second half, and still beat them.
Yeah.
And almost with overtime.
I'm saying we had a terrible second half, and we beat them.
And are we gonna give Minnesota no credit for that?
I'm gonna give we beat her. I agree with you. If Minnesota, if this comes to this and Minnesota beats us with their whole team or not with their whole team, it would be a Nuggets problem.
Yeah.
Not a Minnesota beating us problem.
That'd be disappointing.
I'm saying
I actually would be disappointed if the Nuggets get beat by the Timberwolves. Healthy. I'd say I'd be disappointed.
It's such a glaring weakness that I think can be exploited over
No,
time.
the benches only played 2 minutes in the playoffs.
They played much longer.
No.
They played 12.
They're all going to be on short leashes.
They
Oh,
get
they're gonna-
12
Oh,
minutes.
we're talking
Bro,
about
you're talking about last year.
Like
The bench played a lot. This year, there is no way that bench is playing long.
They're gonna have to relieve them. They're gonna have to relieve them in some elements, which means someone's got to step up and play.
Our players are playing
play beyond their means.
Yeah.
They have to play beyond their means because
that's the
P-Watt.
playoffs.
I'm saying P-Watt.
No,
we don't have the size either. We have length, sure, but we don't have the size.
Or if you're factoring in that we played a bench the same way we played regular season.
You're
talking Jalen.
I guess I'll say this. I said what I said, and that's why I think the Nuggets need to secure that 1 seed. So then
I'm not scared
Oklahoma City and the Timberwolves can just butcher themselves. They can just
not to mention in the Nuggets versus Timberwolves game, Jaden McDaniels had 26 points.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, I think Payne Watson's gonna play him much better.
Yeah.
He's not gonna go for 26 points a night.
Sure not.
Now you guys can hate my point, but
4 games.
You guys, I think what you said and what you said. I think the Nuggets have no issue with Boston.
Bro, we walked the floor with the Timberwolves last year.
1 game they won.
Yeah, they won 1 game,
but they're not the same team.
And when we were up 3-0,
they're not the same team.
Okay,
they're not the same team.
I think,
and I don't even know who you said.
Okay, but I'm saying they're not a better. Okay, you're saying they're not the same team. What are you? Minnesota, bro. You're saying they've gotten so much better that they can get 3 more wins against us.
Yes, I am saying.
Where have they gotten better besides Anthony taking a lead?
Anthony taking a lead.
Anthony took a lead.
I think you can't minimize that.
I'm saying
not minimize.
And we just
okay, and MPJ's taking.
All right, let's go to the next topic because I said what it is. I'm getting jumped on because I just said that there's a team. I didn't jump on you for Boston. I didn't jump on you for the Milwaukee. Well, you guys are jumping on me because I said Minnesota.
It's true. We got receipts coming in.
You said no. This is the difference. You said they were going to beat us. That's where we jumped on to you.
If Cat comes back, I think they will.
Okay. To each his own. I disagree. Anyways, back to the Nuggets. Portland, we play them tonight. What did y'all think about Portland?
Is Jamal playing?
They're not going to play.
You don't think he's going to?
I don't think either one of them are going to play.
Or what, Joker?
I think it's a good day for them to sit out. I think it's a good chance for the Nuggets to sit out. I mean, Nikola to sit out.
Yeah.
Jamal to sit out.
Jamal has to sit
Let
out.
Michael MPJ lead the team a little bit.
Yeah, and AG.
Yeah, let them have fun and take over that a little bit.
What do you think?
I think they'll beat the Blazers with or without. Blazers are a 52 loss team, bro. Like they packed it in. The only thing I feel bad about is my man.
Chauncey.
They're 51.
Chauncey.
Yeah,
Chauncey. You think he's gonna
Chauncey done.
Chauncey
done.
But here's the thing: why are you gonna fire Chauncey when Dame left? I mean, come on, he
he was losing with Dame.
He
so.
He was losing with CJ. Wasn't CJ still there?
CJ McCollum. He was losing with them at full strength. So I love Chauncey.
We
That's
love
Denver.
Chauncey.
That's Denver. That's GW.
Denver's own. King of
I definitely love
Chauncey.
Chauncey.
But
I went to we used to go to his camps all the time.
Yeah, you went to his camp.
Yeah, Park Hill.
But,
did you hear that? I thought I heard like a phone buzz. I think it's ESPN, NBA TV being like, "Yo, what's up?
Chauncey,
Got a network job for you."
Come back,
He'll be back.
Yeah,
You're gonna get
somebody staff.
You're gonna get podcast. He's on a good podcast.
Yeah.
For real. I just know he won't be the head coach of the Blazers.
Nah, I think this is last year. I think they're gonna just
I like the Blazers too. I like how they're put together.
Do they have a good? Do the Blazers have a good big or anything? Like what?
I mean, they got Ayton.
Yeah.
Dominating.
They got Durant. I mean, Jeremy.
Durant. Yeah, Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy. I'll just say it on the pod.
Jeremy Grant.
Yeah. For context, Nuggets Nation. I don't want this to take off by any means. Call the man his real name. His mama named him Jeremy. His name is Jeremy. But after he left the Nuggets, we were bitter. So Dodd and I started calling him Jeremy.
He's bitter.
I love Jeremy.
We fight for CB to be called Brown.
Yeah.
With the spelling.
Yeah. So call his name is Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Even Floridian slips. It's hard for me not to. I've been doing it for years.
He should have left us. That's what
he should have. Yeah, he should have stayed.
Bitter.
I know it's the thing about Brucey B leaving. He had to get paid.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like wonders like. Even in Canada, you have a bigger check, and they're not on the American dollar, so you have even more money. But I'm like, when you're watching the Nuggets this all season, because your all season is about to start here, my friend. Like, was it worth it?
Yeah.
Who, Bruce Brown?
He had to get paid.
Would you rather cry in a Maybach?
No, I understand, but he got a ring, so I'm not mad about that.
Think about it.
Mad at it. I'm asking. I'm
Bruce Brown.
I'm not bitter. I'm nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just asking him if he ever listens to it. Was it worth it?
Was Brooklyn the only team Bruce Brown paid for before, or did he have another team?
Oh, he had a lot of teams.
I think he got drafted by Detroit.
So that's what I thought. I thought he moved around slightly before.
Yeah, maybe not a lot. But,
so now he kind of, to me, had the same as Gary Payton second.
Yeah.
Where he finally got on a team that believed in his game.
Right.
He got the opportunity to hoop.
And then they couldn't pay him.
Then he gotta get paid. And then
came back
to
the Warriors.
He got drafted by Detroit.
Yep.
Played there for 2 seasons. Went to Brooklyn, played there for 2 seasons. Came to Nuggets.
Yep.
Then he spent this
Finally
year.
Yeah, he got bounced a couple places.
In Indiana and Toronto.
Denver just fits his game so well. He gets to play exactly how he wants to.
When Mike Malone called him on the bench, he said, I don't think anybody knows how to play me. And so Mike was like,
Mike Malone's good at that. Because even with Torrey Craig, he's been all right other places. But I still think when he played in Denver, he played really well.
The other place was Phoenix. He played well there.
Yeah, he played well there.
He found a good role.
Yeah, but the interesting thing about it, you can look around when you watch basketball at night, just different games. There's a lot of Nuggets.
All right, we got a lot of
Nuggets and other teams.
You got Malik Beasley.
We're kind of be here. We'll be here.
Kind of in the not Nuggets. But Harkenstein played last night, like you said, or 2 nights ago.
But he was the Nuggets.
I know.
Yeah, I'm saying that we have a lot of Nuggets. Monte Morris on the Timberwolves. I mean, it's just they're all Gary Harris when he's available and healthy.
He's on a good team right now.
He is.
Because if we really want to talk about it,
Orlando.
Orlando is one of the surging.
Uh-oh.
They are. I think they've won 8 of the last 9.
Orlando, that's the second team.
I'm not gonna lie.
It's a deep second.
It sounded like it was Minnesota today, but
I don't get off. Please stop. Please stop.
I'm sorry.
Here's some breaking news. Maybe I do need to check my temperature for what I just thought I'm about to say live and on the pod. It's like I have a little bit more appreciation for Tim Conley this year.
Oh, boy.
I do. That's fresh off
some of our early
podcasts. I'm gonna say I disagree with you, but here's why. It's not Tim Conley the reason why they've gotten better. It's because Anthony Edwards went into play. I have an Olympic theory. This is my Olympic theory.
Yeah, you can go.
Players that go to the Olympics and play against the best, or play with the best of the best, always come back that next year hungry and better than ever. Yeah. Carmelo did it. LeBron did it. Kobe. It's if you can go look at it. It's very written out. Bam out of Iowa came back in the Heat went to the finals. Yeah. I'm saying it happens all the time.
And it's because
Anthony Edwards, they're around the best players in the world, and they say
how they
see how other people train, and then they also go, I can step my game up, or they go, I'm the best. And I think in that case, Anthony Edwards looked around and he said, I'm better than all these dudes.
Yeah.
And now he saw how they trained. He's like, wait, they training like this. I train harder than them. Mm-hmm. And I think now he knows.
And we know that.
Yeah, that has a lot of sense.
Kobe found it because he saw somebody else.
Kobe kind of the opposite.
Kobe was the guy who they looked up to.
And he showed them how to work.
Yeah, he showed them how to
Carmelo,
work.
this is another canon, but Carmelo and LeBron and all them were telling a story how this is in the documentary on Netflix, how they went out the night before of a game And they came back, and Kobe was like waking up. Like, where y'all going? He's I'm going to the gym.
Yeah.
Kobe's, I'm going to the gym. And he said that level of focus like warmed them all the way up.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, we're not going hard enough.
Yeah.
But I think that's what happens in the Olympics.
My respect for Tim Conley has nothing to do with Minnesota.
Okay.
It has everything to do with Calvin Booth. Because Calvin has done nothing.
Oh my.
Has done nothing as a GM. When you really think through what he's done nothing. Even his draft picks this season.
He got
none of them play.
You're talking about this. You're talking about this year, not last year.
You're talking about this year.
Yeah, I'm talking about
this. Okay,
no, I'm just saying he's done nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even his draft picks don't even play.
Yeah.
Drew Strother is gonna get no minutes this point.
Is he back?
Yeah, he's on the sideline.
DMPs at this point.
Okay.
Hunter Tyson not doing anything. Dude from Penn State that I knew was a bum immediately as soon as I seen him. Like you know what he's gonna be. I'm not gonna even say his name.
Everybody says he's gonna be like Andre Miller.
He's gonna be one of those ones like, oh, he's on the Pistons now. Oh, he's on. Did you know that he plays for the Lakers? He's that guy now. He ain't gonna be a Nugget for long. My God. So that's what made me like appreciate Tim Conley a little bit more this season, because I'm like, at least Tim Conley. He'd make bad trades, but at least he did something.
Yeah.
You know, he gave me something to even just be mad about.
Sometimes
Champions
don't have to make
nothing
huge moves to win, bro. Sometimes
I
they don't.
think it's like it's so glaring. We talk about this. We're like 12 pods into this season. And ever since this summer, all we were talking about was do something.
Yeah.
Do something.
To fix that bench.
We watch the Nuggets every night. We watch the Nuggets all the time.
Good enough.
I agree with you on that.
And if you watch the Nuggets all the time, how the hell do you not see that they need someone off the bench?
I'll say this: if the Nuggets somehow do get knocked out, you do look at this season and say, Calvin Booth, you did not make the right move.
Yeah,
because it wasn't the lack of the five that we gush about every second.
Yeah.
It's not because of the five we don't win a championship this year. It would be because 6 through 8 or 6 through 9 weren't viable enough to make us
and let me say this: we love the Nuggets, we love you, Calvin Booth. This is tough love. This is just the truth. Sometimes it's just a fact.
And it might be, and it has happened to me. This is pre-pod, but in the bubble, most of the Nuggets nation wanted Mike Malone gone because he couldn't call time. They didn't make any adjustments, and this dude Jamal literally saved his saved his coaching career, career, but like his tenure with the Nuggets, because how he went off and saved that series versus Utah that first round.
Yeah.
Right. I think
in the second quarter.
No. And not to the extent, not dropping 50. Before I make this point, not dropping 50 and doing twirls on Gobert. None of that. Not in comparison. I'm just saying, if Justin Holiday has big shots, like has like a 9-point game that wins a series, or has like a swing where it's like, wow, Calvin Booth, when it happened, I didn't appreciate that, and I'm growing to like Justin Holiday edition. If he had like one of those things where it's like, wow, we wouldn't have, those are quality buckets or quality minutes from Justin Holiday, then I would be like, Calvin Booth, tip of the hat. You were right. I was wrong. That's the only thing that can happen. Or Julian Strother or one of his draft picks does something. But like, I don't know. I don't think his draft picks are.
I'll say this. I think don't sleep on Christian Brown. I say he may have. I think he may have a playoff that we actually really do appreciate. And say, thank God he's back. I'm not saying he's gonna be huge. I just think he might be effective, and that's what we just need.
And he's most effective. You didn't see P. Watt and him the other time. I forget who was running a darn zone on us this week, but somebody was running a zone and they did well in it, and so they know how to do that.
And we
if
said
you can do that, because those teams will be throwing it at us in these playoffs. They're gonna be throwing the kitchen sink because they're gonna try to slow down. You know who? Joker, Maul, and MPJ, KCP hitting it, and then Aaron Gordon doing Aaron Gordon things. They got to slow us down.
I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about Peyton Watson. I think he'll play better in the playoffs, but I think he's gonna still be, have his good days, bad days, right? I think Reggie Jackson may have a serious game too, where I think he will have the Austin Rivers game. He's gonna have the Christian Brown game where the Nuggets starters finally like have a bad game, and he might be able to be one of the guys that gives us that 10-20.
Well, next time throw DeAndre in there with it, because remember they had that DeAndre Reggie thing going on with the Clippers. We need that.
I know it's not all about points, and quality minutes can be seen. But in the last 2 games, the 2 dudes you just mentioned, CB and P. Watt, have a combined 12 points.
I know, I understand.
Yeah, but their side is going to be based on the defense.
Yeah.
And because think about it, when in the playoffs,
I just wanted to throw that little tidbit out there.
Well, when I think the way I think about it is like when the playoffs come, you're basically going to see staggerings of at least 2 of the starters at all times. So you're going to see Jamal always stagger with them,
with AG,
and you're going to probably see AG,
Joker,
Kate, Joker. Everybody's going to be staggering. So you're going to see KCP and you're going to see a Christian Brown play with the starters, and that's going to make him easier to score.
Yes.
Peyton Watson easier to score. I think that's going to be
I'll
more
throw a counterpoint to my point. Well, without Yoke and Maul tonight, they need to have more than 12 points.
They do.
That's fair.
They do. That's fair.
If they want to beat the
no, I think we go to the not Nuggets and we talk a little bit about Orlando, like we're kind of alluding to. They've won 5 straight, so they have one of the longest streaks in the NBA. And I think a lot of podcasts or a lot of media doesn't really give them a lot of credit, but these guys are playing a lot of great basketball. They got a lot of those. Chris, I said they got a lot of those people that, were pretty solid college basketball players that are now showing. They kind of remind me like like how Bronson and all them were. It's like you just kind of get a lot of those really talented college basketball players. You put them on a team, and eventually they start producing.
You sound like right there.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
that was Michael Jordan's theory for years in Charlotte. He was like, Michael Jordan. You could tell
Villanova's whole team they won.
He wouldn't do no scouting. He would just turn on like CBS and TNT. I want the Martin twins.
Yeah.
And then ultimately he was 50% correct because he just had to have heat culture, but like. He was not.
It's sometimes like that because you go and you look at a Hawkins from the Heat. It's like, look at this dude played pretty well last year in March Madness. Or Jalen Suggs hit that game winner. Let's draft him.
Yeah.
Nuggets did it. Nuggets did it with Julian Strother. We're like, who's that guy that just hit that game winner?
True.
I think it's Coach Mosley though.
Yeah.
Coach Mosley has them playing. He just hasn't bought in. When you are the Orlando Magic, mid-market, top pick. A couple years ago when they got Paolo.
Dog.
And to your point, they've sucked for so long that they actually have the talent, but plenty of teams suck for a long time and get the talent, but it's the culture and the buy-in. And I think that's why Coach Mosley has done that. And they're playing excellently. They're playing great defense. They have the Wagner brothers are dope. They're just good. They just have like that arrogance. They knock down shots.
Right? Isn't that a Denver Nuggets connection some kind of way in that? In the coaching,
in that trade,
in the coaching staff.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Or did we have Mosley?
I don't think so.
I thought we did.
Maybe I gotta double check that.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
I'm thinking that
even Markelle Fultz, who's making $17 million this year, is playing well. Like
Markelle Fultz always been good. He just has had his injuries. He's always been an injury guy.
He has like a bad bug, but he is averaging 7.8 this season.
Bro, don't sleep on him. And they get to play the Knicks, which might, to be honest, that may be one of the better series in the first half, or in the first playoffs, because that's who they're gonna. Well, I guess the Pacers is coming up. They're at 6.
I'm sorry, bro. This dude's averaging less than 8 points a game, and we're talking about how good he's playing.
Well, I mean, it's just good to see him back on the court.
Yeah, exactly.
At a certain point. What about let's switch over to Boston because that is going to be a team that we need to potentially see in the championship. They've won 8 straight. They've been playing some good basketball.
They're pacing the East.
Yeah,
they're 11 games up on.
You're not giving my.
It's always
right. Yeah, okay, so
give me my credit.
Go ahead, say.
Mosley joined the Denver Nuggets of the NBA as a player development coach and scout in 2005. I thought it was a Denver connection.
You're right.
There you go.
That's good.
We're all over the place.
Good call.
Players, coaches.
You really showed your Nuggets fandom.
Oh, yeah.
That was real.
05 cut. Good job. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think Boston. It's obviously they're gonna start doing what Nuggets did last year, where they kind of cruise into the playoffs. Hopefully, turn it on after that week. They're up. They've won 8 straight. Jaylen Brown obviously hooping. Jason Tatum has been exceptional.
They're gonna be tough.
Jason Tatum's been exceptional, regardless of what you've had to say. And he's only 26. Sometimes you forget how young this guy is.
And they're hungry this year. That's what's scary to me.
To your point, I'm just gonna reel off who they have left.
Okay.
And to Kyle's, they're just gonna coast. Like
they're just gonna win. But I'm saying they're gonna.
They have Chicago, Atlanta, New Orleans, which is tough.
Oh, New Orleans.
These are all on the road, by the way.
New Orleans.
Charlotte, right? Then they have home for Oklahoma City. They need to win that one. Sacramento, Portland, at Milwaukee, home for New York Knicks, home for the Charlotte, home for Washington.
I see 5. 5 hard games. Is the Knicks
at New Orleans. home for Oklahoma City.
Yep.
At Milwaukee.
Yep.
Home for the Knicks. So that's 4 games.
And then there was one ahead of the Knicks.
Milwaukee.
And
Sacramento.
Sacramento. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Sacramento.
So
5.
3 West teams that are difficult.
Yeah.
Then they have the Knicks and Milwaukee.
Well,
but the rest of it is a
but they're like 10 or something games ahead of the next closest.
Yeah, they already wrapped up the division. And they already locked in the 1 seed.
They won't care.
It's a
now here's
done
the
deal.
Now here's the thing: if this could happen, there's a team currently in the 8th seed that has a player who's not playing
over on
in the East. And the guy goes by Mr. Joel Embiid.
MVP last year.
So there is a world where the Boston Celtics get a very unnecessary 8 seed with Joel Embiid if he wants to come back. If he can't come back,
come back from that kind of surgery. I don't know.
Well, it's a meniscus. Luckily, it wasn't an ACL or something.
Yeah.
Even though a meniscus, it still sucks.
I think it's less about. I mean, I don't want to. There's a lot of coming back from the injury. Okay. Yes. I think the next thing is getting back to NBA.
Yes, exactly.
At the level that you were playing at when you left.
Yeah.
He was the clear cut favorite for MVP. I mean, not in Denver. It's hard for me to say what I was about to say, but for everybody else, he was the clear cut favorite for MVP.
Yeah.
Before he got injured.
Yes.
And they were the 1 or 2 seed when he left. So for him to come back and beat Boston when he didn't even beat Boston when he was healthy last season,
right? Exactly.
I don't know.
So he's not gonna come back.
I would not
come back. You let maybe the Bulls or the Hawks get into the 8th seed and Boston wins it.
I didn't think they'll make it. Yeah, I think they'll be the top. I didn't say that.
No,
I just think they'll get swept or.
Oh, so you're saying they'll beat the Heat? You said they'll beat either the Bulls or the Hawks in the play-in?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Who do you think? Trae Young's the only one I think.
Trae Young's always you never want to sleep on Trae Young when it's just one. If it's one game wins,
and he can pull it off. Trae Young knows the moment.
Yeah, he does.
And he did beat Philadelphia.
That's what I said.
So you make a good point there.
So you're saying I didn't realize that they were 8th.
That's what I'm saying. The Boston would play if the playoffs ended the way it is right now.
Yeah,
Embiid could play against Boston. And that'd be really cool to see.
But now it's not even getting into Boston because now you got my wheels turning. Trae Young could go into Philadelphia and beat them and literally shock them. I don't put that past Trae Young to do that.
Yeah,
I really don't.
Yeah,
and I know that Atlanta is not as good as they were a couple years ago when they did beat them in a 7-game series. Hell, they're not even as good as they were last season. But Trae Young is still on that team, and while he's on that team, I think they have a chance. They just don't play any defense.
Yeah.
That's their thing.
While we're talking playing, let's go over to the West
because
we got the Warriors
over there.
No, well, we got the Warriors in the 10th spot, and we have a surging Rockets who have the 2nd longest winning streak in the NBA at 7 games.
That was in a big fight.
That was in a big fight too.
We'll get into that in a second.
But what do you think the odds are that the Rockets of all teams could jump the Warriors at that bottom spot?
Well, the Warriors have lost 6 of the last 10. The Rockets have won 9 of their last 10. Jalen Green is playing out of his brain right now. They lost Sagoon, which really hurts them when we get into the nuance of what we're discussing right here. But if somehow the Warriors keep sliding, I'll check their schedules. If the Warriors keep sliding, the Rockets.
Is Sagoon out or did he? Because they said he might have avoided serious injury, right? Or did he? It
was ugly. It was an ugly hit. Ugly.
Did he not avoid serious injury?
I don't know. It looked like he could have gotten really hurt. I don't know. I didn't keep up with.
Yeah, it's a grade 3 right ankle sprain. Will miss the remainder of the season. So
so he did not avoid the rest.
No, he did not. I didn't think so. It didn't look like he
neglect him being on their team during this run. But after he got injured, they've won I think every game. That I'm not saying they don't need him.
Well,
I'm just saying that's more to what Jalen Green has been able to do over the last couple games.
Okay,
he's balling out.
And shout out to Jalen Green because people was really acting like he wasn't gonna be who he was now, bro. After a few years of having up and downs.
All right, so looking at the schedule, Golden State has as you expect, a tough schedule. So they have at Minnesota, at Miami, at Orlando. 3 playoff teams right on the road, right? Yeah. And the last 2 seasons, Golden State hasn't been good on the road. So
and the Golden State play each other on April 4th. The Rockets and
in Houston. Then you have at Charlotte, at San Antonio, home for Dallas, at Houston, at Dallas. I think Houston's going to play off.
No, playing in the West just kind of sucks because look at Houston has some tough games too. They got the Rockets on March 27th.
You got to play all the West
Mavs
Coast
on the
teams. You have
Mavs on March 31.
Yeah.
Timberwolves the game before the Warriors.
Yeah.
And then they come out and play the Heat.
Let's just call it.
Then
what
at
it is.
Dallas,
Let's just call it
Orlando.
Three playoff.
And then they close.
In the West.
Yeah.
And they close. Then they
it's nasty work down there, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry. Then they close at the Clippers. So that one's gonna be very interesting because that 10 spot is now up for grabs because I don't think the Warriors are playing phenomenal, and I think Houston. Looking at who they played, they did play some cake. They
who we didn't talk about, and they always talk about everywhere else. Lakers. Do they have a shot?
No, Lakers already. They're solid.
They just need to stabilize.
Oh, okay.
They just need to stabilize, and what I mean by stabilize, they are 2.5 up on the 10 seed.
Oh, because they're 2 games ahead of Warriors right now. Okay.
So I think they're solidified at 9.
Okay.
Do they beat Houston? I bet they beat Houston because they're just more.
They're bigger, more talented. Yeah.
They have better wings.
Yeah.
Then do they beat Phoenix or the Kings?
So are we saying?
Oh wait, do they beat Dallas, Phoenix, or the Kings in the next game? Is the question?
Well, I don't know if they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to be 7 or 8 and get in the playoffs. But are we saying that the final 4 and not final 4, the last 4 standing in that 7, 8, 9, and 10 bucket is going to be Golden State Warriors or the Rockets because everyone else is going to be.
Yeah, I think the Rockets leapfrog Golden State.
Okay.
So then the final 4, I don't know. Dallas, Phoenix, they're gonna go back. I will say gut reaction right now. I say Phoenix is 7.
Sacramento, Lakers, Houston.
Rockets. Then I say Lakers beat the Rockets. I think Kings beat the Suns. No, that's gonna be in Phoenix.
Wow.
It's too early. I think you should wait because Dallas and the Mavs are tied. They're tied.
I know that's why I said that one's gonna shake out. Yeah. But I do think my hot take is Houston catches Golden State.
Yeah, that's the hot take. Okay, that's enough because the other rest is
because even the Pelicans are only 2 games ahead of the 6 and 7
seed. Schedules
Pelicans playing good. I don't think anybody.
But the Pelicans
really gives them. I know we haven't really given them much their flowers on this pod, but they are playing well.
Who?
Pelicans.
Oh yeah, you know why? Because their center is back and playing well and doing fine. I mean, and not hurt. That's the first time.
Yeah, you're talking about Zion?
Yeah, and the first time in a long time.
They say he lost 20 plus pounds too. So
that finally decided to.
We all knew, he's always been good.
He's always good.
But it was always about staying.
Go up and stay on the court, and I think he's showing staying on the court. Hasn't he been on the court most of the season? Yeah.
Well, we kind of been jumping around and talking about the whole NBA, and since it is March Madness, I'd be interested.
That's what it sounds like, huh?
Yeah, and exactly. We're just looking at all this tournament stuff, but I'd be interested to hear what you all think is the top 4 teams that when we get to the final 4 NBA teams, who is it going to be? We obviously will say the Nuggets. We'll say the Nuggets.
Nuggets are bigger. You mean the Nuggets? Who's playing in the West?
Who's playing in the West?
And who's playing to go into the big? Oh boy. Okay, Nuggets for sure.
I say Nuggets.
It depends on what bracketing.
Yeah, I was gonna say because they got a lot.
Minnesota before they got here, it's gonna be hard to say.
Yeah. But just asking the top 4. You could just say who you think the 4 is gonna be.
Say that because it may not be.
Of course, it's all gonna matter about bracketing.
Yeah, it is. So okay, so I get Boston and Nuggets. That's easy peasy. And I think it's Milwaukee.
Yeah, Boston, Milwaukee, Nuggets, and who?
I say Minnesota or not, or OKC. I can't see OKC.
I don't see OKC.
I don't see OKC.
My thing is with OKC, people could call me a hater in Oklahoma. I just say I need to see y'all win a series.
That's their first time to the rodeo.
And I think Minnesota fits that too. But
I don't know. I'm not gonna do OKC like that because I know when the Nuggets were in the 2019 team, people were saying the exact same thing to us. I think if you have
we went 7.
They didn't have a joker.
We beat the Spurs.
I know, but we went 7.
Yeah,
that was a lot of learning we had to do. And last season, the Kings went 7.
The Kings are middle.
But now this season, I have more faith in them because I seen them do that. Last season, Oklahoma City was in the lottery.
I think the bigger issue is I just don't think OKC is going to beat that next team. I think they might not beat the Clippers. They might not beat
It's
the
gonna be
Timberwolves, they might not beat the Nuggets.
They haven't
Pelicans.
seen how to prepare. They don't know how to close the game out. They don't know that people elevate their game to the nth degree in the playoffs. They may be playing at their max right now.
And I'm not gonna say easy, because if it was easy, more teams would win 50 games every season. But when the game tightens and coaches, all they do is gonna look at you for 7 games.
SGA.
It's one thing for SGA to come in here on a Thursday night, beat us, and go on to on to Memphis the next night. Like, it's different when it's like, okay, we have one more night off, and then the next night we're back at Ball Arena, locked in on this that you exploited last game, and then we're gonna travel and we're gonna focus on it in Oklahoma City
and change everything.
If SGA has a bad game,
it's over.
2 games
or someone just figures something out about you, or it's just like it's different, and that's where that's why we love the playoffs. So we are talking from a perspective of Nuggets fans who know what our team is capable of in the playoffs, and know that we've been there, know what our coaching staff is in it. Minnesota, kinda. Oklahoma City, less than kinda. Yeah. So I trust Minnesota more.
Okay. I trust. And so Nuggets, Minnesota, Boston, Milwaukee.
And I think of the two teams, I think that Minnesota has the better player. I'll go on a limb and say Anthony Edwards is better than SGA.
Yeah, he is.
I thought you said they had the better player between these Nuggets and Minnesota.
I made sure I said Minnesota and Oklahoma City, because I didn't want to say that.
I take Anthony Edwards over SGA
I misheard.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. It's going to come down to who has a better player in the court, and Anthony Edwards is better than SGA.
Okay.
So,
all right, there you go.
All right, let's go to the 2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining.
All right, so I thought it'd be kind of interesting, and you all may hate this question, but I was on Twitter the other day, and I saw George Karl, and something came to my mind, and I was wondering if George Karl and Mike Malone switch places.
Coach of the Denver Nuggets, for those who don't know.
Yeah, George Karl,
the
Nuggets' first kind of multiple runs, second. This millennial's second big multiple playoff runs was with George Karl.
Yes.
With the Carmelo era.
Yes.
Anthony, Allen Iverson, Chauncey Billups. He coached that team.
Yes.
Led him to not Carmelo and them, but he led that team to 60 wins. Okay. 58 wins. Something like that. 57. Our franchise record. Uh-huh. And then you have Mike Malone, who had Jokic, who has Jamal, won an NBA championship. So 2 great Nuggets coaches. Yeah. If we swap them.
To do what?
Now George Karl takes over this team. Last year's team, this team. This Jokic generation, and Mike Malone takes over the Carmelo generation. Do both of them end up in the same place, or do one of them win a championship, the other one? This is a really bad first take question, so you guys don't have to participate, but I'm just here for it.
So essentially you're saying if Mike Malone coached the Nuggets from 2008 to 2010, those teams, and George Karl coached this Jokic ball from 2020 to present, who's more likely to win a championship?
More likely to win a championship.
That's no comparison to me, but I'll go last.
I'll say this. Okay. You got something to go ahead?
Yeah, I was gonna throw a little wrench in this. I think they both can get it done. And here's why I say that. It's because I think that Mike Malone is far superior head coach.
Ooh, okay.
Than George Karl.
All right.
I know George Karl went to multiple. No, he went to 1 NBA Finals.
And then the Seattle one.
Yeah,
that's the one he went to with Seattle.
Yeah.
And he won in Milwaukee. He won it with the Nuggets. He won with Seattle, obviously. But I think Mike Malone's is a better coach. I do. Okay. I've seen him get out the first round every single time for the most part. I saw him do it without Jamal.
I'm agreeing with
I agree with that.
And I think he won't. I don't think he is as abrasive to his team either. He gets in there, and, gets on him a little bit. He's like, play defense, hustle, that stuff. He's really nitty-gritty about that. So I think he would get a lot out of Melo. I think he would have. And once he got Chauncey, he would have loved having.
That's what my answer was going to be. I think that Mike Malone would have a better chance with that team because Mike Malone is a great players coach.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think Carmelo would have loved to play with Mike Malone and Allen Iverson. They would have really fought for him in a different way. I think that Mike Malone would have got a lot more out of those guys. Where George Karl was, and I'm only saying this based on what the players are saying. They all, even Kenyon Martin got stuff to say about George Karl. So he didn't always get the best out of those guys.
Yeah.
But I think Mike Malone would have. And that would have made a big difference in those series where especially against the Western Conference Finals against Kobe when we went to 6 games.
Okay, throw nothing at me.
And last point I was going to
Okay, go
say,
ahead.
George Karl, because of that, also may have a more detriment to this team because dudes might have been in his doghouse. Who's to say that Jamal Murray and what's his name, Jamal Murray and Coach Karl would be that cool? Because they're especially in those early days of Jamal. Jamal had those moments where he was just kind of a pest. He was a pest too. And I think George Karl could have rubbed him the wrong way and got on his bad side. Same with Michael Porter Jr. And even AG, who's very chill and calm, could be a type of person that would butt heads with George Karl. So I think that's where the friction could have been more likely.
Okay, the reason why this is an easy answer for me, easy, is because you said take this current team, and let George Karl play it, and let the other team go. So, and y'all explained it. You said it had to be a great coach, a better coach than what we saw with that team. I'm saying I can coach the Nuggets right now. Okay. I am saying that's how good they are. So it is not even a comparison to me. Is this team with our Joker, with our Maul, and the way they play, and it's best starting 5 in the whole NBA at this moment with superstars. LeBron is still in there. AG is still in there. They're on the top 75 already. Yeah. KD, Booker, all these people, and we're beating them. And so my point is, I just think we have such a special unit. Okay, any coach would love to come and coach these people, right?
Yeah, you make a valid point.
So you're saying George Karl easy win with this team?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would be surprised if George Karl couldn't win this.
If anyone,
I'm saying he'd have more likely to have friction with.
If any coach could stop this team from winning a championship, it would be George.
George Karl does get underneath people's skin. That's what I'm saying.
Let me say what I said to you. We have strong leaders. They would not listen to him. Y'all always talking about when. Well, mixed metaphors here. Football, when Russ got the call from the coach on the side, when they had gone all the way down, you would not have called that play. You wouldn't have did a passing play. You ran it in like they did.
But now
same thing.
Okay, you shouldn't have brought Russ in.
No. I think this team, as we have this starting 5 with those leaders on there, because everybody on there is a darn leader. KCP's a leader. Joker's a leader. I mean, they would have said, "What are you talking about? We're gonna play our game."
But you shouldn't have brought Russ in because Sean Payton is a good example of what a George Karl could do to a unit. He could get underneath a player's skin who is a part of the leader.
That's my point, because they are all
Jamal could. You tell me Jamal and George Karl couldn't get into it? I think that's a very likely opportunity for them to get into it.
If there's a consistent problem in the room and it's always in the room that you're in, maybe you're the problem.
Mom, I watched The Last Dance and George Payton. You got George Payton of the glove. Gary Payton. I kept saying that. You should have put me in the
it's a lot of Paytons
Broncos. And I was George Payton.
Okay, yeah.
But Gary Payton is like, bro, I told Karl to put me on Jordan from game 1, and he never listened to me to the point I decided in that series to guard Jordan. I said, I don't care what you said, coach.
Exactly.
But I'm saying
you're making my point.
Okay. You're saying players would do.
And you're making our point.
No.
George Karl is not a great head coach.
No, he's a great head coach.
He's a great head coach.
He is
great.
Yes, 900 plus wins.
He's a good head coach.
When you take an 8 to beat a 1, you're good.
You can't name 20 to 35 more.
I'm just saying
20 to 35
coaches that
I would never be able to do that.
No.
But I could definitely name 15.
But here's the thing. We're gonna all agree here that George Karl is a good to great coach. Okay?
Good to great, yeah.
Good to great. Okay. So that's why we even have the question, because
he's in that black box.
Yeah. But my point is, you just made the point for me. After a while, players be like, no, we gotta play the game our way. I think we have 5 people who would have said no sooner than George Payton. You got me saying it now. Gary Payton did.
I think Michael Porter and Jamal would have a field day with George Karl as a coach. But that is just me with my thoughts. I don't know.
And maybe it was
field day and a good
like they would get into it with him.
Oh, I see.
I think they definitely get into it with him.
Maybe it was because he was in a place he wanted to be, or maybe because he was older. But after George Karl, you never heard Melo having any issues with any other coaches. Once more,
that's true.
If there's a problem,
he had the young. I'm the best in the world.
But also, it's not lost on us that George Karl also didn't get another coaching job after that too, and he's and it
isn't lost on me that he won Coach of the Year and got fired either.
Yeah.
There's a lot here.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the Nuggets play Portland tonight at. Let's see what time that game is. If anybody wants to make sure they check in. I know you're gonna have to watch it.
Come over from the NCAA tournaments, and then
very much.
The women are going. And shout out to, I know we have to do this. I know it's like just nuggets, but shout out to Colorado women and men for winning game 1 in the NCAA last night.
Yep, congratulations.
Yesterday. Congratulations.
The Nuggets play at 8 p.m. tonight.
Okay.
And that might be Eastern. But
that is Eastern.
The Nuggets play tonight against the Portland Trailblazers. From the Just Nuggets podcast, my name is K. Colley. You can find us on Twitter. And now we're streaming on YouTube, if I'm not correct. We actually have our links on YouTube. So you can listen to us on YouTube. You can listen to us on Spotify. And you can listen to a lot of places. Just Nuggets. We have Just Janet. Thank you again.
Bye.
Christoph College. Thank you.
Go Nuggets.
Go Nuggets.
Go Nuggets.